So, as Izzy Aman, the drag king in that video, who, by the way, has a very excellent drag name, they were very clearly voicing the ways that masculinity is performed in a theatrical way, not similarly to femininity, but it does point out the ways that masculinity is also itself a performance. So, this is a kind of a working definition we can take going forward in the class, thinking about drag kinging. We can define the drag king as a performer who pinpoints and exploits the often obscured theatricality of masculinity. So, pay attention there to the often obscured part. And then later on, we'll start to think about why masculinity is less visible as performative than femininity. The drag king can be male or female. She can be transgender. She can be butch or femme. The drag king might make no distinction between her offstage and onstage persona, or she may make an absolute distinction. So Halberstam is clearly pointing to that the performer's personal or individual gender identity or gender presentation does not mean that their performance of masculinity is going to be somehow opposite that. Um, Masculinity can be performed in many different ways, and it's not necessarily contingent upon the performer's gender identity itself. Another thing to pay attention to is how different performers in our readings and in these videos describe the relationship between their offstage persona or their offstage self and their onstage persona. And how do they make a distinction? Did they learn more things about themselves and their gender identity through doing drag? What is their relationship to gender theory? We find in a lot of these ethnographies on kings, quite a few of them have experiences in the liberal arts, gender studies, GSWS, and similar studies like that, where through theories on gender, and not just Halberstam and Judith Butler, learn to see gender in a different way, and that also informs their drag. So following this clip rather, you will find two videos that I'd like you to watch. One is a video of Judith Butler kind of in an accessible way talking about what gender performativity is, and how we can kind of connect it to our class. And then you'll find a video from BuzzFeed where believe four different actual drag kings turn four different women into drag kings, and then they have to go do a performance. So pay attention to the different kinds of aesthetics of masculinity that are being used to transform these women. So think about how masculine bodies are shaped. Think about how maybe bone structure could be recontoured to look more masculine. Think about, are these performances of heterosexual masculinity? Are they excessive? Are they meant to be, speaking to queer masculinity rather? How does a masculine performance, how does it iterate through things like the way you walk or the way you talk? So just keep that in mind when you watch the BuzzFeed video.